Jaren Voss wiped the grease from his hands and surveyed the crowded spaceport. The hum of engines and the chatter of travelers filled the air. Ships of all sizes, from sleek Federation shuttles to battered freighters, lined the docking bays. Jaren's eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned the sea of metal, searching for opportunity. Unlike the travelers and traders bustling around him, Jaren didn't look for comfort or luxury. He looked for forgotten things, things that others had overlooked. For years, Jaren had survived as a mechanic, fixing small ships for barely enough credits to buy food. He was clever, talented, and stubborn. But the world seemed to value speed and reputation over skill and curiosity. People often told him to give up dreaming about rare finds and focus on easy work, but Jaren ignored them. His eyes always lingered on abandoned ships, scrapyards, and old auction listings. Today, he had a little spare credit and a free morning. The interplanetary auction house was open. Normally, these auctions were filled with traders looking for profitable cargo or weapons. But sometimes, the true treasures were overlooked. Jaren moved through the crowded hall, his boots clanging against the metal floor. The smell of oil and recycled air made him smile faintly. At the end of the hall, past dusty crates and auction screens, he spotted it. A ship, long forgotten. Sitting in the corner, its hull was scratched, panels were dented, and most people would have considered it worthless. But to Jaren, it looked like possibility. The ship's name, barely visible on its side, read Aurora's Shadow. The auctioneer, a thin, impatient alien with wrinkled skin, tapped a control panel. "Next item," he said. "The Aurora's Shadow. Abandoned vessel, last registered 10 years ago. Condition: unknown. Starting bid: half a credit." Half a credit. That was almost nothing. Most bidders laughed. "Scrap," someone muttered, walking away. Another bidder shook his head. "Not worth my time." Jaren stepped closer, heart beating faster. He could feel the potential. Something about the ship called to him. Maybe it was the smooth lines hidden under the grime, or the subtle markings that hinted at advanced engineering. Whatever it was, he knew he had to take a closer look. "Half a credit," Jaren said, raising his hand. The auctioneer's eyes flicked to him. "Sold," he barked. The room murmured. Everyone seemed surprised that a small-time mechanic had claimed a derelict ship. Jaren paid the tiny sum and received the access codes. No one bothered to watch him leave. They assumed it would end up as scrap metal. Or worse, a costly mistake. The spaceport's loading bay was noisy as Jaren walked toward the Aurora's Shadow. The ship was larger than he expected, sleek, with curves that suggested speed and agility. Its surface was scratched and worn, but there was no rust. The metal still held strength. The engines were cold, but he could almost feel their potential energy. Sleeping, waiting for the right hands. He pressed his palm against the hull. A small shiver ran through him. Something about this ship was unusual. It didn't just look abandoned. It felt hidden, as if it had secrets it wanted to reveal. Jaren activated the external lights and stepped onto the boarding ramp. The airlock hissed as it opened, and he entered the ship's interior. Dust floated in the dim light, and panels creaked as he moved through the corridors. Most of the instruments were offline, but the design was elegant. The control room had a panoramic view of the stars. He moved cautiously, checking the wiring and systems. His fingers traced over control panels, analyzing circuits and displays. Despite years of neglect, the ship's core systems seemed intact. Jaren's brow furrowed. Ships, this well-built, didn't just vanish. Someone had taken care of it before it was abandoned. While exploring the lower deck, Jaren found something unusual, a small compartment, hidden behind a false panel. He pushed it open and discovered a small, metallic device. It was unfamiliar, covered in strange symbols, and faintly glowing. Jaren's curiosity surged. He picked it up and examined it. "What are you?" he whispered. The device was warm to the touch, and he felt a small pulse of energy. His mind raced. He had seen advanced tech before, But this was different. As he held the artifact, he accidentally pressed a small button. A soft hum filled the compartment. Lights flickered along the walls, and the ship seemed to breathe. The dormant systems, which had been silent for years, stirred to life. Jaren stumbled back, eyes wide. The ship's main console powered up, displays glowing with data he could barely comprehend. Lines of alien text scrolled across the screen. Mixed with schematics of engines and weapon systems, he realized that the Aurora's shadow was not just a ship, it was something far beyond what he had ever seen. He spent hours exploring, checking systems, and carefully probing the alien device. With every panel he activated, the ship seemed to respond. As if it recognized him, he began to feel a strange connection to it. The sun was setting outside, casting long shadows across the spaceport. Jaren finally stepped out of the ship, tired but exhilarated. He couldn't keep this to himself. He had to know more. But he also knew that others would want to claim it. If the Federation found out about the ship, they would take it immediately. That night, he returned to his small workshop. He examined the alien device under a microscope, taking notes and drawing schematics. The more he studied it, the more he realized that it was a key to unlocking the ship's true potential. Sleep came late for Jaren. But when it did, it was full of strange dreams. Stars moving in impossible patterns, ships flying faster than light, and a voice whispering, "Reclaim what was lost." He woke up with a start, heart pounding. Something had changed. The ship was no longer just an abandoned vessel. It was alive, in a sense. And it had chosen him. The next morning, he returned to the Aurora's shadow with tools, spare parts, and a determination he had never felt before. He climbed aboard, and the ship seemed to hum in greeting. Jaren began the work of restoring it, not to sell or show off, but to understand. Hours turned into days. He cleaned panels, repaired circuits, and slowly brought life back to the ship. The artifact remained at the center of the control room, pulsing with energy. Occasionally, it would light up in response to Jaren's touch, almost as if it approved of his work. Word of his discovery began to spread quietly through the spaceport. Rumors circulated about the mechanic who had found a haunted ship. Most ignored it, dismissing it as gossip. But a few curious traders came to look. They left shaking their heads, unable to explain what they had seen. Jaren worked tirelessly. The ship's engines, when powered, emitted a hum that resonated deep in his chest. It was unlike any engine he had ever heard. The controls responded instantly, almost intuitively. He realized that this was no ordinary vessel. It was built for speed, agility, and perhaps something more. One evening, as Jaren calibrated the last engine module, the alien device glowed brighter than ever. Panels along the walls lit up, and a holographic map appeared in the center of the room. Stars, planets, and unknown routes shimmered in 3 dimensions. Jaren stared in awe. This isn't just a ship," he whispered. "It's a map. And it's calling me." Suddenly, a sharp noise came from the door. Jaren froze. The spaceport guards had arrived. Rumor of the ship had reached the Federation, and they were curious, maybe suspicious. "Step away from the vessel," one officer commanded. "This ship is under investigation. You have no claim here." Jaren's heart pounded, but he didn't move. He knew the truth. This ship was more than property. It had secrets, and it had chosen him. "I bought it fair and square," Jaren said calmly, hiding the excitement in his voice. "I found it abandoned. It's mine." The officer narrowed his eyes. "Abandoned or not, the Federation will want a full inspection. You will cooperate." Jaren nodded slowly. Inside, his mind raced. He couldn't let them take it, not yet. There were things they weren't ready to see. Things that could change everything. As the officers left, Jaren returned to the control room, his resolve firm. He had claimed the Aurora's shadow for half a credit, but he had gained something far greater. a doorway to the unknown. And deep down, he knew this was only the beginning. The stars outside twinkled like silent witnesses. Somewhere out there, waiting through the vast darkness, the secrets of the ship and the alien device were calling him forward. Jaren smiled, tightening his grip on the controls. The adventure had begun. The first light of morning broke across the spaceport, reflecting off the scratched hull of the Aurora's shadow. Jaren Voss was already aboard, his hands moving over control panels, checking readings, and tracing circuits. The alien device still pulsed softly, a heartbeat within the ship. It had not stopped glowing since he first activated it, and the ship seemed alive, humming with dormant energy. Jaren had spent the last several days studying the ship. Every system he restored revealed something new. Some panels displayed unknown symbols, while others revealed schematics far more advanced than anything he had ever seen in Federation records. The engines alone were remarkable, sleek designs, modular systems, and energy conduits that seemed almost alive. As he worked, Jaren began to notice subtle changes. Lights flickered in sequence, almost as if the ship was communicating. A low hum filled the corridors when he walked near the main reactor. Occasionally, he felt vibrations beneath his feet, gentle and rhythmic, like the ship was breathing. "I don't know what you are," he whispered to the alien device, "but I think we can help each other." He adjusted the artifact's position in the control room, trying to understand its energy pattern. The device reacted instantly, glowing brighter and sending a pulse through the ship. Screens came alive with alien text and holographic images. One image caught his attention, a star system far beyond known Federation space. A blinking point marked a planet, but it was labeled in symbols Jaren didn't recognize. Curiosity ignited within him. He wanted to trace the coordinates, but he knew he had to be careful. The Federation had already sent officials to investigate, and rumors of his discovery had begun spreading quietly through the spaceport. He had to prepare. Jaren spent the day calibrating the ship's systems. He repaired minor faults, rerouted energy, and synchronized the alien device with the ship's core. Each adjustment seemed to awaken the ship further. Panels lit up in patterns, engines hummed in a more controlled tone, and the ship's environmental systems adjusted automatically to his presence. By evening, the ship was fully operational, or as close as he could make it. Jaren stepped back, breathing heavily, sweat on his brow. He had never seen anything like it. The Aurora's shadow was no ordinary vessel. It was intelligent, responsive, and powerful. And then, it happened. A soft, resonant tone echoed through the corridors. The alien device in the control room pulsed intensely, brighter than ever before. Jaren watched as the ship's engines responded, flowing with energy that seemed almost alive. He realized, with a mix of fear and excitement, that the ship was ready to move. He moved to the pilot's seat, fingers trembling slightly as he touched the controls. The ship responded immediately, almost as if it had been waiting for this moment. The screens displayed a map of nearby space, showing no obstacles, no other vessels except one set of readings that made Jaren frown. Federation sensors were approaching. The ship's sensors were far superior to anything Jaren had seen. They detected the incoming patrol vessels long before they entered the spaceport's perimeter. A blinking alert appeared on the screen. The Federation would arrive soon, curious about the ship. Jaren's mind raced. If they discovered the Aurora's shadow now, they would take it immediately. He had to act fast. He decided to take the ship out for a test flight, at least to prove that he understood its capabilities. He activated the engines. A low roar filled the hangar, and the ship lifted gently from the docking platform. The doors of the hangar slid open, revealing the wide expanse of space. Jaren's heart pounded as he guided the ship into orbit. The Aurora's shadow was smooth, precise, and responsive beyond anything he had ever piloted. He pushed the engines gradually, testing acceleration and maneuverability. The ship responded flawlessly. He felt a connection, almost as if it recognized him as its rightful pilot. And then he saw it on the main display, a path opening beyond known space, a glowing wormhole forming at the edge of the system. The artifact pulsed again, stronger this time, and a message appeared in alien symbols. Jaren didn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear. Go. He hesitated. Traveling through an unknown wormhole was dangerous. There was no telling where it would lead. But he felt a surge of excitement. The ship had chosen him, and it seemed to trust him with this journey. Jaren took a deep breath and guided the Aurora's shadow toward the glowing rift. As he approached, the ship's engines adjusted automatically, stabilizing the vessel against the strange gravitational forces of the wormhole. The moment he crossed the threshold, light bent and twisted around him. Stars stretched into streaks, colors shifting in ways Jaren had never seen. He gripped the controls tightly, marveling at the sight. Time itself seemed to stretch, and he felt weightless, as if moving through the fabric of space and time. Then, just as suddenly, the light collapsed, and he emerged into a new star system. It was unlike anything recorded in Federation charts. Massive planets with rings of glowing crystal, stars with unusual colors, and nebulae that shimmered like living clouds filled his view. Jaren exhaled, awestruck. This is incredible," he whispered. He knew he had crossed into uncharted space, guided by the ship and the alien device, but the wonder was short-lived. His sensors picked up movement ships approaching from an unknown source. They were sleek, dark, and aggressive-looking. Jaren realized they were hostile. The Aurora's shadow responded instantly, systems activating automatically. Shields hummed to life, energy weapons lined the hull, and engines prepared for evasive maneuvers. Jaren's heart raced, but he remained calm. He had piloted many ships under pressure, but never one like this. He relied on intuition, instincts, and the ship itself. It responded perfectly, moving with a grace and speed that no ordinary vessel could match. The hostile ships fired, but the Aurora's shadow dodged effortlessly. Jaren realized the ship's advanced technology allowed him to predict trajectories and adjust movements in real time. Each maneuver felt like a dance, precise and effortless. After a tense chase, Jaren found an opening and activated the ship's stealth mode, disappearing from the hostile vessel's sensors. He breathed heavily, adrenaline pumping through his veins. The ship seemed to vibrate with satisfaction, as if pleased with his performance. Once he felt safe, Jaren opened communication with the alien device. The pulsing light seemed to form patterns, almost like a conversation. He didn't understand the language, but he sensed its intent. It was guiding him toward a specific planet. In this unknown system, Jaren decided to follow. As he approached the planet, he saw signs of ancient structures on its surface, massive towers, long abandoned, and strange patterns etched into the terrain hinted at a lost civilization. The sight filled him with both excitement and caution. He landed the Aurora's shadow carefully, the ship's advanced systems adjusting to the planet's atmosphere. The doors opened, and Jaren stepped out, looking at the ruins. The air was breathable, surprisingly fresh, and the landscape was alive with strange, glowing flora. Jaren began exploring, taking notes and scanning the ruins. Every structure seemed to resonate with the alien device. It pulsed faster, as if reacting to something nearby. He realized that the planet was not entirely abandoned. The device had led him here for a reason. Hours passed, and Jaren uncovered a small chamber within the ruins. Inside, he found evidence of a civilization that had mastered both technology and energy manipulation far beyond Federation understanding. Holographic panels flickered to life as he approached, revealing data in alien language. He couldn't read it fully, but diagrams of ships, weapons, and energy systems were clear. Jaren felt a thrill of discovery. He knew that what he had found could change everything. The Federation would be astonished, but he also knew they would want to control it. He had to be careful. As he explored, the artifact pulsed once more, and a voice, or something like a voice, echoed in his mind. The humans. They awaken what was lost. Jaren's eyes widened. He realized the ship and the device recognized humanity, or at least his presence, as a key to unlocking these secrets. Night fell on the alien world, painting the ruins in silver light. Jaren returned to the Aurora's shadow, Weary but exhilarated, he had tested the ship, evaded hostile forces, and discovered a lost civilization. Yet, he knew this was only the beginning. The ship hummed quietly, and the artifact glowed steadily. Jaren understood that he had been chosen not just to pilot the ship, but to uncover the mysteries it held. Humanity's ingenuity, his curiosity, and his courage had brought him this far. The next steps would require all of them. As he prepared to rest, he gazed out at the alien stars. Somewhere out there, more secrets waited, secrets that only a human mind could unravel. And Jaren Voss, the mechanic who bought a forsaken ship for half a credit, was ready to meet them. Jaren Voss stepped cautiously out of the Aurora's shadow, the alien device pulsing in his hands. The ruins stretched out before him, tall structures of smooth metal and crystal that shimmered under the twin suns of the alien world. The architecture was unlike anything in Federation space. Towers spiraled toward the sky, connected by bridges of glowing material, and strange glyphs decorated every surface. He took a deep breath. The air was fresh but carried a faint metallic scent. The ground beneath his boots hummed faintly, resonating with the device. It was as if the planet itself was alive, waiting, watching. Jaren's heart pounded with excitement. He was the first human to set foot here in centuries, perhaps millennia. The alien device pulsed faster as he approached one of the larger structures. A doorway materialized before him, not with hinges or locks, but as a smooth, glowing arch. The moment he stepped through, the ship's sensors confirmed it. The structure was protected by an energy field, but the device allowed him passage. Inside, the air was cooler. Soft lights glimmered along the walls, illuminating corridors that stretched endlessly. Holographic displays flickered to life as he entered. Symbols he could not read floated in midair, accompanied by diagrams of ships, energy systems, and even star maps. Jaren scanned the data quickly, taking mental notes. The technology here was far beyond the Federation's most advanced ships. This civilization, they were centuries ahead of us, Jaren murmured, running his fingers over a glowing panel. And somehow, gone. He explored deeper, discovering rooms filled with intricate machinery. Some machines appeared to manipulate energy directly, creating fields that bent light, gravity, and even time. Others looked like storage systems, holding what seemed to be preserved records of their knowledge. Jaren realized that this civilization had mastered technology in ways humans had only dreamed of. As he moved through the ruins, he began noticing signs of life. Small disturbances in the dust, shadows moving just beyond his vision. Then, a subtle sound reached his ears. A low hum, almost musical. It came from deeper inside the central structure. Following the sound, Jaren entered a vast chamber. The room was dominated by a massive crystal, floating in midair, pulsing with energy. Around it were statues, alien figures in stasis, their bodies encased in translucent pods. The device in Jaren's hands pulsed violently, and he felt a connection stronger than ever. The realization hit him. These beings had been preserved, waiting. The device, the ship, and the planet were all linked, designed to awaken only when the right beings arrived. Somehow, humans, or at least Jaren, were part of that plan. Suddenly, a deep vibration shook the chamber. Lights flickered, and one of the stasis pods began to open. A figure emerged, tall and elegant, its skin a shimmering metallic hue. Jaren froze. The alien regarded him with eyes that glowed faintly. You are the Reclaimers," it said, in a voice that seemed to resonate directly in his mind. Jaren took a cautious step back. I don't understand," he stammered. "I'm just a mechanic. I found the ship. That's all." The alien studied him for a moment. "You are more than that. Humans. You awaken what was lost. The Aurora's shadow brought you here." Jaren felt a shiver of awe. The ship, the device, and now this civilization all seemed to recognize him as someone important. He realized that his curiosity, His determination and his willingness to explore had brought him to this moment. Before he could respond, the ground trembled again. Alarms rang out not from the alien systems, but from his own sensors. Hostile ships were entering orbit above the planet. The same vessels Jaren had seen before, sleek and dark, were scanning for intruders. Panic surged briefly, but Jaren forced himself to focus. The Aurora's shadow was capable of more than evasion. It could fight if necessary. He returned to the ship, carefully guiding it out of the hangar. The alien device pulsed and sent instructions through the ship's interface, revealing hidden systems Jaren hadn't noticed before. Engines roared, energy shields flared, and weapons lined the hull. Jaren's hands moved quickly, following instinct and the guidance of the device. The hostile ships fired, but the Aurora's shadow responded instantly. Energy pulses deflected the attacks, and the ship moved with unparalleled precision. Jaren felt a rush of exhilaration. He had never experienced a battle like this. The ship's systems seemed to anticipate his thoughts, predicting trajectories, adjusting shields, and targeting threats automatically. Each maneuver was perfect, as if the ship itself was fighting alongside him. After a tense chase, he found a narrow canyon on the planet's surface. Using the ship's advanced capabilities, he led the hostile vessels into the canyon, where they collided with natural formations or were forced to retreat. Jaren took a moment to breathe, realizing how close he had come to disaster. Returning to the alien ruins, Jaren found the awakened alien watching him. "You are resourceful," it said. "Human ingenuity. It is remarkable." Jaren smiled, though he was still catching his breath. "Thank you. But I didn't do it alone. The ship, the device, they guided me." The alien nodded. "Together, we can reclaim what was lost. The Federation will arrive soon. You must prove that humanity can be trusted with this knowledge." Jaren's mind raced. He had already faced the hostile ships, but the Federation represented a different challenge. Bureaucracy, rules, and politics could complicate everything, but he also knew that humans had a strength the aliens might not expect: creativity, adaptability, and courage under pressure. Over the next hours, Jaren worked with the alien civilization, learning what he could. He discovered energy systems capable of generating power far beyond the largest Federation reactors. Holographic star maps revealed regions of space previously unknown, and plans for ships showed designs faster and more agile than anything humans had created. He realized that these secrets could change the balance of power in the galaxy. But he also knew that he had to act wisely. He couldn't let this technology fall into the wrong hands. Night came, and Jaren set up a temporary camp in the ruins. The alien device pulsed softly beside him, a steady rhythm that matched his own heartbeat. He thought about the journey that had brought him here. A half-credit purchase, curiosity, and a willingness to explore the unknown. In the quiet moments, he considered the implications. Humanity had often been underestimated, dismissed as fragile or reckless. Yet here he was, standing on an alien world, interacting with a civilization far advanced beyond the Federation, and proving that human ingenuity mattered. The next day, he continued exploring. He found libraries of knowledge, preserved in crystalline data storage. The more he learned, the more he realized how much potential humans had. The alien civilization had designed systems that required intuition, creativity, and adaptability to operate qualities humans had in abundance. As he worked, he noticed movement outside. Scouts from the hostile fleet were circling the planet, observing from a distance. Jaren knew he couldn't stay hidden forever. He had to find a way to protect the ruins, the alien knowledge, and himself. Using the Aurora's shadow, he created defensive barriers around the planet. Energy shields pulsed outward, invisible to the hostile ship's sensors. He also programmed decoys and traps, using the ship's advanced systems to mislead the enemy. His mechanical skills, combined with the alien technology, allowed him to prepare the planet for defense. Hours turned into days. Jaren explored more of the ruins, mapping the planet, and cataloging the alien knowledge. Each discovery fueled his determination. He knew that humans had the capacity to learn, adapt, and achieve what others could not. The Federation might not yet realize it, but he could see the potential clearly. One afternoon, the alien spoke again. "You have done well. But now, you must demonstrate humanity's strength. Others will come curious, hostile, or doubtful. You must guide them and prove that humans can rise to this challenge." Jaren nodded. He understood. The Aurora's shadow had brought him here, but it was his skills, courage, and ingenuity that would determine what happened next. Humanity had the chance to reclaim lost knowledge, to explore the unknown, and to show the galaxy what it was capable of. As the sun set over the alien landscape, Jaren stood at the edge of the ruins, gazing at the horizon. The hostile ships remained in orbit, unaware of the full strength of the defenses he had prepared. The alien device pulsed steadily, a reminder that he was part of something greater. He smiled. The journey was far from over. The Federation would arrive, challenges would arise, and dangers would come. But for the first time, Jaren felt the full weight of human potential. Creativity, courage, and resourcefulness, these were the tools that had brought him this far and would carry him forward. The Aurora's shadow hummed softly, as if agreeing. Together, human and ship, mechanic and alien technology, they had begun to awaken what was lost, and soon, the galaxy would see the edge of humanity. Jaren Voss stood on the ridge overlooking the alien ruins, the Aurora's shadow humming softly behind him. The twin suns of the alien world dipped toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the gleaming towers. He could feel the pulse of the alien device in his hands, steady and reassuring. It had guided him this far, and now, the next challenge loomed: the arrival of the Federation. His sensors had picked up the approaching fleet hours ago. Federation patrol ships, sleek and precise, were entering orbit. Jaren knew they had heard rumors about the Aurora's shadow. Some believed it was stolen, others simply curious. Whatever their motive, the Federation represented both opportunity and risk. They could help protect the planet, or they could claim it for themselves. Jaren took a deep breath. He had learned much from the alien ruins, from the device, and from his own instincts. Humans had a unique ability: creativity under pressure, adaptability, and courage in the face of the unknown. It was time to prove that. He returned to the ship and activated the communication system. Holographic displays lit up the control room, showing the incoming Federation vessels. He sent a simple, calm message. "This is Jaren Voss. I have discovered an uncharted alien civilization. I request dialogue before any action is taken." There was silence for a few moments. Then a voice responded through the comms. "This is Captain Ilias of the Federation Patrol. State your status. You are in restricted space." "I am a mechanic," Jaren replied honestly. "I purchased the Aurora's shadow as abandoned property. I did not trespass. I have discovered something extraordinary technology from a lost civilization. I believe it must be protected, and I am capable of doing so." There was another pause. Then the captain spoke again, his tone cautious. "If what you claim is true, we will meet for inspection. Do not make any sudden moves." Jaren nodded to himself. He had to demonstrate that humans could be trusted, and he had to do it without revealing the full potential of the ship or the alien technology prematurely. He guided the Aurora's shadow to a clearing near the ruins, making sure the alien structures remained protected. The ship settled gently on the ground, and Jaren stepped out to meet the Federation officers. The alien device pulsed in his pocket, almost like a heartbeat. Steady and calm, the Federation delegation arrived in sleek shuttles. Officers stepped out, armed with sensors and scanners, eyes wide with curiosity and suspicion. Among them was Captain Ilias, a seasoned officer known for strict adherence to protocol. "Mr. Voss," the captain began, "explain what this is." Jaren gestured toward the ruins. This planet holds the remains of a civilization far advanced beyond our current technology. The Aurora's shadow and this device guided me here. I believe humans can learn from them, but only if we respect their work." The captain raised an eyebrow. "And you expect us to believe a single mechanic has discovered this alone?" Jaren smiled faintly. "Believe it or not, it's true. But seeing is better than believing. I can show you." With that, Jaren activated the device. Holographic displays projected into the air, showing maps, energy systems, and schematics of advanced technology. The Federation officers gasped. Their sensors confirmed the alien energy readings, unmistakable proof of advanced systems beyond anything catalogued in Federation records. One of the officers, a young engineer named Lyra, whispered to Captain Ilias, This is incredible. It's not just a ship or a planet, it's a gateway to knowledge we've never dreamed of." Jaren nodded. "Exactly. And it's here for us to understand, if we have the skill and respect to do so." Just as the delegation began to process the revelation, sensors picked up movement near the planet's edge. The hostile ships Jaren had encountered earlier were returning, faster and more aggressive. They had tracked the Aurora's shadow across the wormhole. Jaren's mind raced. He had prepared defenses, but the Federation officers were unarmed for battle. He couldn't risk them being caught in the crossfire. He activated the ship's stealth systems and guided the Aurora's shadow into the air. The vessel's advanced capabilities allowed him to lead the hostile ships into a narrow canyon, just as before. Energy shields flared, and decoy systems tricked the enemy into collisions and misfires. The Federation officers watched in awe. "How is he doing this?" Lyra whispered. Captain Ilias clenched his jaw, then nodded slowly. "It's human ingenuity," he said quietly. "We underestimated it. Until now." Once the hostile ships retreated, Jaren returned to the landing site. The Federation officers approached him again, this time with respect. "You've saved this site," Captain Ilias said, "and possibly our people. Your resourcefulness, it's remarkable." Jaren felt a surge of pride, though he kept his expression calm. "Humans are capable of more than we are often given credit for," he said. "I have seen the potential here. We must protect it and learn from it." The captain nodded, looking over the ruins and the alien structures. "I see now. You are not just a mechanic. You are a pioneer." Over the next hours, Jaren worked alongside the Federation team. He demonstrated how the Aurora's shadow could interface with the alien device, revealing deeper functions and unlocking hidden data storage. Maps of uncharted space, energy systems capable of near-limitless power, and designs for advanced ships were all revealed. The Federation officers were stunned. "You've given us knowledge we didn't think possible," Captain Ilias said. "And you've proven that humans can handle responsibility and make decisions that larger organizations might fail at." Jaren smiled faintly. "That's what we do. We find solutions, adapt, and explore. Even when the odds are against us." The alien device pulsed brightly, acknowledging Jaren's words. It was as if it recognized that humanity, through him, had passed some test. The holographic displays stabilized, showing the full extent of the lost civilization's knowledge. With the Federation's cooperation, Jaren began cataloging the alien technology. He explained how certain systems required creativity and intuition qualities humans possessed in abundance. Engineers and scientists from the Federation marveled as they learned to operate machinery that had been dormant for centuries. Days passed, and the planet slowly transformed into a protected research site. Jaren guided the Federation team, ensuring that no one misused the alien technology. His knowledge, skill, and courage had earned their trust. One evening, as the twin suns set, Captain Ilias approached Jaren. "You've changed our perception of humanity," he said. "We often underestimate individuals and human creativity. Today, you've shown us that even one person, given the right circumstances, can achieve the impossible." Jaren looked out at the alien horizon, the ruins glowing faintly in the dusk. "It's not just me," he replied. It's all humans. We adapt, we create, and we never stop exploring. That's our edge. The captain nodded solemnly, understanding. Jaren had proven it. The Federation could have fleets, protocols, and technology, but it was human ingenuity that made the difference. One mechanic had claimed a forsaken ship for half a credit and discovered wonders that could change the galaxy. Word of Jaren's discovery spread across Federation channels. Scientists, engineers, and explorers marveled at the lost civilization's technology. And humans were finally recognized for their ability to innovate, adapt, and solve impossible problems. The Aurora's shadow became a symbol, a reminder that even small, overlooked individuals could achieve greatness. Jaren returned to the ship, quietly tinkering with systems and refining his understanding. Even with the Federation watching and assisting, he felt the same thrill of discovery that had driven him from the beginning. The adventure was far from over. The universe still held mysteries, and he intended to explore them. As he gazed at the alien stars, he smiled. The galaxy had finally seen what humans could do. Curiosity, courage, and ingenuity were not just traits, they were a force. The Aurora's shadow hummed beside him, alive and responsive. Together, human and ship had uncovered a lost civilization, defended it from hostile forces, and proved humanity's edge. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, other secrets waited. Jaren Voss, the mechanic who had purchased a forsaken ship for half a credit, was ready for them. The stars twinkled, silent witnesses to human potential. And for the first time, the galaxy understood. When humans act with creativity and courage, nothing is impossible.